What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I'm going to be breaking down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to be talking about what's happened to the market thus far, some important data coming out, and why SPY and the market are continuing to pump, which is a good sign for Tesla. But before I break anything down about all this information, before I talk about what's going on with the news affecting Tesla and how Tesla is looking, let me just mention a couple of things. I'm firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. So I'm recording this video during the pre-market at 6 o'clock a.m., at least for my time, which is like at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm recording this very early. That's why I sound kind of quiet or my voice may sound kind of muffled. And I'm sorry about that, but there's not really a whole lot I could do about that for now. But anyways, I just want to talk about Tesla and the markets and break down how things are looking. Tesla's pushing right now and fighting for 250. This is a very, very important resistance. We will see if Tesla could break this or not. In my opinion, it looks like it wants to break, and it looks like it's not done just yet, as technicals are still looking bullish for the stock. So there could be another good push coming to Tesla. We're seeing SPY holding up too. And one of the things I warned everyone about was that when you look at SPY, there could be another pump coming, but I still believe once we reach December 1st, and as we approach December, there's going to be a big pivot coming. The market's going to start downtrending very soon. But for now, we're not ready yet, and Tesla's still pushing. I'm going to be breaking down more information about this. So, what data has come out real quick? The GDP numbers were actually a bit hotter than expected at 5.2% versus the forecast of 4.9%. Most of this data was close to expectations, if not better, and the market was continuing to like this data. Now, I just want to remind you all, we have the 17-week bill auction at 11:30 a.m., which could cause some volatility. Then we have some Fed speakers as the day goes on. That's pretty much it for data for today. Tomorrow we have PCE, Chicago PMI, and initial jobless claims coming out. PCE could be kind of important as it's going to give us inflationary numbers. And then Friday is going to be an even more important day. We have the manufacturing numbers. We have Jerome Powell's speech. And I think that the ISM manufacturing numbers could be the thing that causes the market to shift. So we'll be watching this on Friday. Don't forget about this. This is when the market could start to turn bearish. It aligns very, very well. So just be very careful. But for now, we're just going to be waiting for some more data. A couple of things to know about the market. The rally is continuing. We're starting to see more buyers stepping in. One of the things I said is that I'm not going to be buying too heavily into the market. I could scalp Tesla here and there, for example, but I'm not like buying long term just yet. So I'm going to be waiting for a better opportunity because I think it's going to be coming in the next couple of weeks, and that is not financial advice. On top of this, the investing world has lost a legend. That's Charlie Munger. Very, very important news. He passed away, and he lived an amazing life. He was almost 100 years old, and it's very sad to hear any news like this. But this news came out. On top of this, Disney is saying that they're going to be continuing to improve and address problems in the company's studio division, which has led to many theatrical flops. Well, in order for this to happen, they have to listen to their audience very carefully and they have to improve based off that. So we'll see if anything comes with that. GM is once again trying to negotiate with new labor costs. And then there's more news involving Mark Cuban selling a majority stake in the team of the Dallas Mavericks. So that news came out too, but nothing else is too crazy for the overall market. Just for earnings, we have the same old earnings coming out. Don't forget we have like Foot Locker, Dollar Tree, and just a few others. Dell is coming out for tomorrow. Now looking at Tesla, according to Daniel Ives, he's saying that Tesla is facing another historical moment, which is good news for them. And I honestly agree with him. I think that the Cybertruck is going to be historical. As I mentioned before, it's going to have many tremendous challenges in the words of Elon Musk when trying to start it off, trying to get to volume production. But for now, there's hype, and we're just going to enjoy the hype for the time being. Don't forget, tomorrow is going to be when the event happens, November 30th for Thursday at 1 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you're ready for that. As we approach this event, Tesla could pump even more. And so far, there's a lot of hype being built up. Also starting to see some price targets of 265 for Tesla. I think that it's possible we see Tesla pump like this, but before that happens, we just have to see what happens with the event. If Tesla continues to pump approaching it or even afterwards, I don't think it's going to happen that way, but this is just something that's worth noting. I do still think Tesla could reach this target later on, but it's just worth noting. So Anyways, let's talk about Tesla. Let's talk about the market. How are things looking? Tesla got a nice breakout. We were at 247 yesterday, and then I said yesterday that Tesla looked bullish and it could push even higher. And this morning, now we're very close to 250. So I was correct. We did push even higher on Tesla, but now Tesla's kind of like fighting this tight resistance at 250. If we break this 250 resistance, that's going to be a very, very important level. If we break this, we're going to be watching 252. Now, this is not very strong for resistance, very minor. We need a powerful break of 250. We have some minor resistance here. It's not going to be that crazy. We have tougher resistance at 255, at least based off the historical chart. I think Tesla could get very close to 255 if we break. And then above that, we have 257, then 260 coming. In order for us to get to 255, we have to break 250. We're going to be watching to see if Tesla can break this resistance. It's going to be kind of tight for now. If we break down, we have support at 247. If we lose that, watch 245, and then we have 242.5. In my opinion, the chart is bullish. There's no sign of it breaking down yet, but I do want to note that 250 is kind of tight during this pre-market session. It's going to take a lot of strength and more volume to break it, so we'll see if we get that in the morning. I think the odds favor that it's going to break it, but just to be safe, let's see confirmation first. Let's wait to see how it opens before we become like too decisive or anything like that. All right, so it looks bullish. It looks like it's going to try to break out, but watch 250. Let's see if Tesla could break this. So far, it hasn't been able to do so yet. And once we break this, if we get that break, 252 will be watched. That's some minor resistance. Then we have 255, 257, and then 260 coming next. 255 is going to be stronger resistance. 252 is like very minor. And I think that there's going to be a bigger push if we could try to break 250 with some very powerful volatility and powerful volume. All right. With that being said, now I want to call out SPY. SPY, in my opinion, this once again got a pump. I was talking about a pump coming to SPY, and we managed to break the November high. But in the process of doing so, we have a quadruple bearish divergence that developed on the RSI and a double on the MACD. And this time, I think it's going to play out eventually. So what this means is we could basically hold up, okay? We could push to 458 to 460, that's fine. But anywhere between that range, 457 to 460, in my opinion, that's a very good shorting opportunity, a very good short entry for the next couple of weeks, because I'm anticipating some significant selling. And I think it's going to start on December 1st with the ISM manufacturing data and Jerome Powell's speech on Friday. So I think that this thing could hold up for another day or two, sure. But once we get to Friday, I think things could shift. And I think that we're in a topping process and the quadruple bearish divergence continues to remain, which tells us that maybe we pop a bit more, but it's going to likely see some downside. Watch resistance at 457.5. Above that, we have 458, and we just pull up the chart. And then we have 460 above that. So those are three levels to watch for. We also have this resistance supply zone, which is actually from July. Then we have support at 456.5. If we lose that, then we have like 455 coming next. In my opinion, could pop a little bit more than reject, or it could just reject from here. I think that it's going to try to hold up close to this level for some time, maybe for a day or so. But then by Friday, at the latest, I think that's when we're going to start turning. I think there's going to be a big move to the downside coming. Just to clarify, when you look at the daily on SPY, the 20 EMA is at 445. We also have 438 being the 50 EMA. I think it's going to come down to 445 within 2 to 3 weeks. I think there's going to be a small retracement coming. We also have a gap to fill, so it could even drop lower to 440. So that's what I'm seeing, and I just see this as another shorting opportunity. Not financial advice, but that's what I'm going to be looking out to do. Just for a couple of others, Apple's kind of flat right now. It hasn't been able to break 191, so it's still kind of choppy, still stuck between its supply and demand zone. Not SPY, Apple. And I'm going to be watching to see if Apple could try to break or not. It looks like it's just going to trade sideways. This is just another potential shorting opportunity as we have a slanted head and shoulders, and I don't really see Apple sustaining these levels for much longer. Could push a little bit higher, but I think it's going to eventually come down to 188 over the next few days, and I think that if it loses that, then 185 is coming. Watch 191 is resistance, 192.5, and I think that it could pop a bit more for seeing some downside. For Nvda, I think it's very similar to Apple. in a way where we're currently testing our EMAs at 183. Then we have, 483. Then we have 485 coming next. If it breaks 485, we could get a bullish move temporarily to 488 to 490. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be very sideways for now. But just in case it does get a push, I don't fully believe it's just going to be super bullish. I think that could get a small pop and then eventually start dropping. I think that it could pop like this to come back down to fill this gap below at 478, or it could push a little bit higher, maybe a little bit higher, and then eventually come back down to fill this gap from here. Uh, we'll be watching for a little small push and then it to come back down to fill the gap, or if it pushes higher and then fills the gap. I think we have this gap to fill below, and I think that Nvidia will pop and then drop eventually. So that's where I'm leaning towards on Nvidia. And don't forget that by December 1st, Nvidia could shift. And then last but not least, we have the QQQ. Same thing as SPY, guys. No different because SPY had, remember, the quadruple bearish divergence. Well, so does the QQQ. In fact, its divergence is stronger than that of SPY's, and it's continuing to develop a massive, massive bearish divergence, telling us that, I wouldn't fully trust this rally. They don't always play out, but this time I believe they will. And I think that 393 to 395 would be like a really good shorting opportunity for the QQQ for a couple of weeks out. Not financial advice, but I think that it could pop a little bit more. And we're eventually going to see some selling in December. So we're just a few days away, right? We're not at December yet. It could hold up in this range for some time, but then watch your resistance. Watch 393's resistance, watch support at 391. Below that, we have 390, then 389, and 388. For resistance, we have 394 and 395. I don't see it pumping that much more. Could pop a bit, then drop or drop from here. And that's what I have for the video. All right, guys. So with that being said, I want to be a little bit quick with this part. Tesla is holding up decently. It's trying to fight for that 250 resistance. Let's see if it could break this. This is a very important resistance. If it breaks it, we could start flying to much higher levels. We have 252 as minor resistance, which I think we're going to just shoot through if we do break this. Then we have 255, 257, and 260. Yesterday, Tesla was kind of like slow when it started. You could see it actually dropped a little bit because they were grabbing liquidity. And after like a few minutes, it finally started to push. So sometimes it starts very slow, just like right now, it might start a little slow. We might get a push later, but we have to break 250. Watch that very carefully on Tesla. All right, guys, that's it for your morning update video. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again, and peace out.